timing. Alright, hello and welcome to HRL Season 7, Round number 12, Viper Canyon GP. This is going to be Moto 2 on Viper Canyon GP. Moto 1 was pretty exciting, I have to say, for the top 5 spot. That was a great battle that went on the entire race between Hunter, Blake, and Camby, so I was really hyped about that. And the top 4 battle was also very interesting in terms of pit strategy, so I liked watching that too. It wasn't necessarily like the closest battle between those guys, but it was just like a very interesting battle to watch because of the way the pit strategy worked out. You didn't really know what the gaps were going to be and stuff like that, so that was kind of cool. But anyways, let's get through the starting order here in Moto 2. We're going to have Sector, front spot in the front row, Shift, Hunter, Blake, Camby, Detail, Roman, Slaunch, and Luke. When the grenade explodes, that is when we're going to go green. So I think Blake's going to be throwing the grenade right there in the red. Camby's goose is on fire. He probably should have repaired that before the race. Grenade is out, and we are green. And it looks like some early issues already for Shift. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but that is already going to mix things up. That's going to give these people in front, so like Sector, Hunter, Camby, a huge advantage for sure. To be fair, though, it is very early in the moto. Like, that was literally the first corner, so you know, things can happen, but things can change. But still, I mean, that could play a big role in what happens. So, oh, more issues, and this is the top 4 drivers having issues. I'm not sure what happened there. This is a battle here between the top 4, all of the overall contenders for this race, I would say. I would say that I'm 100% positive that the overall winner is in this pack of 4 right here. Does anybody take their pit? Yes, Blake, for the second race in a row, takes his pit on the first lap. Luke opts to not take it. And as you can see, he clearly did not fire his whole Magnum there. Not even close. He fired like a little over half of it, so he's going to get a thick penalty, if you will, for not completely firing out his Magnum there. And now we have all of these back drivers trying to get by Shift. Hunter out to the early lead. Sector in second. Camby in third. So Hunter with an amazing start. And, oh, Camby with the move on Sector. That was a harsh move right there. So yeah, what I was going to say, Hunter, actually Moto winless this season. Hunter has yet to pick up a Moto win. So that's a very interesting statistic there, because Hunter historically always steals like 1 Moto win per season. Somewhere he always steals a Moto win, but now he is really late into this season. Oh, that got tight there between Luke and Shift. Luke was able to take the spot, railing the rumble. Very close right there. But yeah, Hunter has not taken a Moto win this season at all. So that's very interesting, because like I said, he has taken a Moto win, sometimes even an overall win every season. Overall, he has not gotten every season. I think it's like every other season. But every season, though, I'm pretty sure up until this point, he has stolen a Moto win. And more issues here. Sector now causing issues for this overall contention pack. We have Detail, Luke, and Roman here. Oh, Detail getting a little loose. Roman getting a little... All of them getting a little loose, honestly. Luke and Roman with a really good battle. Oh, Roman very close on the outside right there. That was good control right there. Definitely could have went poorly. Let's see, any driver is going to opt to take their pits. I know Hunter didn't. We have 2 drivers opting to take their pits. Sector and Luke both going to take their pits, and you'd think Sector should be able to come out of the pits in front of Luke with how far ahead he was entering. No, he's not even going to get on his goose first. Luke completely gets on his goose before Sector even frickin' does, and is obviously going to exit the pits before him. So that is just absolutely ridiculous right there. Sector needs to definitely work on his pits, and that's what I was talking about right there. In the first moto, how you can gain time on the pits. That's exactly what I was talking about. Sector just lost so much time on his pit stop. Oh, and Slaunch into the tree. That is going to be huge for him. Lost a ton of time right there. Like what we saw with Detail in the first moto, one big mistake like that can cost you the entire race, so it's going to be tough for him to make up this race after that mistake. Speaking of Detail, he's looking a lot stronger in this moto. Right now, he's in third. Got quite a bit of a gap on Camby, but look at that. Hunter's like right in his sights and not too far away. So yeah, not looking too bad for Detail here. But you also got to think, I think Detail has to take his pit. So does Hunter, and so does Camby as well. Actually, that entire top 4. Let's see. How many of these people need a pit? So Roman also having a pretty good race so far, tailing Detail. So that top 4, Blake right now is the only driver that has pitted right now. So he has pitted, but like I said, realistically, Slaunch and Shift are really ahead of him. Luke's even ahead of him because of how bad of a pit stop penalty that he got for firing his Magnum off so early. So even though he's ahead of them in the pack, like, he's going to get hit with a pretty harsh penalty towards the end of the race. So you got to keep that in mind. And Detail and Roman are making very big gains on Camby. They are already. I looked at that gap at the end of the lap, and I'm like, yeah, it's going to take them 2 laps to make that gap up. No, they are already there. They are already there, fairly close to Camby. Detail is going to take his pit. A risky maneuver right there. He could have definitely gotten an out-of-box penalty with the way he took his pit stop right there. He could have had issues getting out of his pits, but no, that actually ended up being perfect. He takes a perfect pit, and that is huge. He comes out of the pits right in front of Luke, the Moto winner of the previous Moto. So that is very big for Detail there to come out in front of his teammate, because that's going to give Detail a strong shot at taking the Moto win here in the second Moto. And potentially at the overall too. Luke right now is having a strong run at the overall. He finished first in the first Moto, and if he gets second or third, he could be in a very strong position here in this Moto. So, and theoretically, with Roman's gap, theoretically Luke's ahead of Roman here when Roman takes his pit, unless Roman starts making some fat gains. And then Slaunch is the other overall contender, but Slaunch made a huge mistake, and I think it's safe to say that his overall hopes are probably over. So like the only chance of stealing an overall from either Luke or Detail is Roman, and right now it's not looking too good, especially with the fact that he is behind Camby right now and definitely losing time being stuck behind Camby. So Roman needs to make this pass quickly and efficiently if he wants to have a chance at this overall. Roman just recently picking up his first overall and his first Moto win of the season, by the way, at Sasquatch Nest. So good on him for that. Roman, always a driver that'll get an overall and probably get a Moto win or two. Generally, I would say at least 3 Moto wins in the season, but he's had kind of a slow season so far. Was able to pick it up at Sasquatch, and I would say at this doubleheader, even though he hasn't gotten a win in this doubleheader, and it's looking like it's going to be very difficult for him to get one, he's actually had a very good doubleheader. Always in podium contention, always in top 5 contention, qualifying very well. So even though he hasn't been really looking for the wins here, he's had a very strong showing, and he is going to take his pit. So here's where we're going to find out how it evens out, and there's Detail and Luke, and they are gone. That's a pretty strong gap right there. And he's even got to get by Shift. So yeah, not looking too good for Roman. Detail and Luke definitely going to have to make some big mistakes. And now this is very unfortunate because Detail and Luke both have to pass Blake, which in reality, none of these drivers should really have to pass Blake because he cheated his pit so hard. So it's very unfortunate. And we'll see if they're able to get by him clean, because the fact that Blake is in front of them could play a big factor here. Blake coming hot off the outside, and that's going to be very risky there. Detail saves it. That was so close. That could have been Detail's entire race, but he saves it. A very clutch save right there. And Roman trying to make an early move on Shift. Is he able to make it? It looks like he is able to make that pass. Going to complete it right there. Yep, definitely going to have that move on Shift. Meanwhile, where's Hunter? Hunter is right there. Detail and Luke, who I'd say are the competitors with him, are all the way back there at the final corner. So that's a pretty big gap. I'd say Detail and Luke still have some work to do if they want to get by Hunter. Camby, on the other hand, when Camby takes his pit, they should be able to get by him. But to get by Hunter, they got some work to do. And right now, that is Blake. They need to both get by Blake. And as you can see, they are bumper to bumper, trying their hardest to get by him. Blake, some slight contact right there. Could cause some issues. Not quite going to. Question is, where are they going to make the move? Where are they going to go for it? I think that Luke and Detail are both pretty strong in this portion of the track, so potentially here. Not a strong enough run that time. Potentially here. That was very strong, but not strong enough. So at this point, I'm guessing if they're going to make a move this lap, it's going to happen in one of those neg cambers. But this is getting close. They're side by side. Are they able to keep it clean? They are, but Detail gets held up a little bit. But Blake has a poor run through the neg camber, so Detail is still on the inside. This is a great battle right here. And Blake with the rough run the outside is going to give up that spot to Detail. So that's huge for him, trying to make up that time to Hunter in the lead. And now Luke's got to get by Blake as well, and Roman is tracking him not that far behind now. So he's got to make this move quite quickly. Let's see the neg camber run. Blake has had issues with the neg camber in the past. That lap, he runs it fairly well. And as you can see already, now that detail is gotten by Blake, he's already opening up quite a big gap. So that's definitely helped him out to get by him that quickly. Now he actually has a chance at maybe making a run for that lead on Hunter, but there's still plenty of race to go, and Hunter still has to take his pits. So, oh, and Blake gets hit with a second gear on the finish line, and that is going to allow Luke to make the move and get the pass. What the hell was that? That's going to allow Luke to make the move and to pass Blake there. So that second gear was crucial. And at the same time, that means that now it's Roman's turn to get by him. And he makes contact with the pole again, 2 laps in a row. So let's see how well Roman handles it. Trying his hardest to get by him. You see Roman diving that corner as hard as he possibly could have. Literally given his heart out here, trying to get by Blake. Can he rail this corner efficiently? He does very well, and he is going to take that spot. Nice job on Roman. Ran that corner literally perfect that time. Exactly when he needed to. So let's get an update quick. We still have 2 front runners. Hunter and Camby are first and second, and they still have to pit. They still have to pit. Both of them do. So let's get an idea of our gap here. So Hunter hits the Armada sign right there. Hunter hits the Armada sign. When did Detail and Luke hit it? They're going to hit it right about now. Man, I'd say if Hunter pitted this lap, it would be very, very close coming out of the pits. Very close. I'm honestly not sure who would get it. I honestly have no clue. It would be very close. But one thing that I do have a clue about is that the battle for the lead is definitely going to be between Hunter, Detail, and Luke. Unless Roman can make a fat gain here, he could possibly play a role in this as well. Camby, I just don't like. He still has to pit. Look at how close Detail, Luke, and Roman are behind him. He's definitely going to lose a spot to all of them. He's probably going to lose a spot to Blake as well. So Camby, I think he stretched out his pit. He probably should have taken his pit a bit earlier, to be honest with you. But yeah, he stretched it out. Trying a different strategy here, but honestly, I think that an early pit strategy probably would have worked out better for Camby in this scenario. And if I was Camby, with how close they are behind him at this point, I would just take my pit this lap. Hunter, though, I'll give a little bit of intel because I remember this during the race. Hunter was committed to using the special strategy for this track. Hunter was committed to pitting on the last lap. So that is Hunter's strategy. He is going to pit on the last lap. So this is going to be very interesting. And yeah, look at how close they are. I think Camby will probably take his pit. And he's going to. Very smart decision right there on Camby's part. Let's see where he comes out. Oh, Roman must have lost some time there. He's a little bit farther back than I thought he'd be. So Camby's going to come out behind Blake just as I expected. I actually expected him to be way far behind, but he's not that far back. And look at how bad Slaunch's race has gone because of that mistake. He is stuck all the way behind Camby even. So yeah, his overall hopes, I think, are safe to say over at this point for this race. But let's check the... Okay, so it's going to be 2 to go. It is going to be 2 to go, 1,000% this time by. So let's keep our eye on the leader, Hunter, and on second and third, Detail and Luke, because that is going to be the battle here. Can Hunter steal his classic Moto win? Like I said, he tends to take a Moto win every season at some point. Can he steal it here at Viper Canyon? He's ran a pretty good race here in the second Moto, had an amazing start, a start that worked out very well for him. And he's doing a different pit strategy here, deciding to hold on to this pit for the last lap. So I'm very curious to see how this works out. Judging by that angle there, I do remember doing an angle similar to this earlier in the race. And judging by that angle, it definitely looked like Detail and Luke have gained over time quite a bit on Hunter compared to like 3 or 4 laps ago. Will it be enough? I'm not exactly sure, but it definitely looks like they have gained during that time period. And Roman, on the other hand, he must have had a rough lap or a mistake or something because he was fairly close to them, but he's lost quite a bit. Although he still has a huge gap on Blake, so Roman is probably cruising to a safe 4th place finish here. Unless Hunter has a really bad pit, who knows? Maybe Roman can still compete for 3rd if Hunter's pit isn't as good as we think it is. To see how it plays out. All I know is this is going to be hella close, so I'm really looking forward to this. And we're only a lap away right now from seeing Hunter's pit, because that is what this entire Moto win hinges upon right now, is Hunter's pit. So we're going to be following him. And if we keep an update, oh, Luke possibly trying to make a move there, so we could even see a battle between Detail and Luke as well. So that battle also not concluded, and that might help Hunter just a little bit, the fact that they're on each other. But at the same time, that might mean that they're both keeping a high pace, so maybe it doesn't help Hunter. I don't know. Gonna find out here soon. So, coming around this final corner, Hunter, please do not crash it like you did in the other moto. There we go, solid run through the final corner, and here we are hitting the white flag. Last lap, 1 to go here. Can Hunter hold on to this victory out of the pits? Let's get that same perspective I had before. Oh my god, look at how much. Detail and Luke definitely gained a ton that last lap or two. I could tell by using that perspective again, they gained a ton. I think they might be able to pull this off. And damn, Hunter might be kicking himself if they do pull this off, because it might, you know, beg the question, should Hunter have pitted earlier? Because if he did pit 3 laps, if Detail and Luke end up coming out in front of Hunter here, then it's going to beg the question, should Hunter have pitted earlier? Because if he did pit earlier, then he might have pitted and came out in front of them and forced them to make the pass on him. So this late pit strategy might not work out. Here it is. Here it is. Here is the race. Hunter, pit stall number 1. He's going to get an out-of-box penalty, so that is very unfortunate. Oh no, Hunter going to come out behind Detail, and very close, but he is going to come out behind Luke as well. Very, very close. I can definitely say that the gains that Detail and Luke made on those last 2 laps were the difference maker right there, because look at how close that ended up being. Oh man, that is unfortunate. Unless they make a crucial mistake here, that is going to be it for Hunter. But shout out to Hunter though. He wasn't that far behind him, and he has a huge gap on Roman, so Hunter should be able to hold on to a podium, which is huge for him. So at the same time, Hunter's probably disappointed that he had a chance at running for the win, and his pit strategy just did not work out. On the other hand, he's probably pretty hyped that it's like, okay, I was still right there with the leaders, and I'm going to get a solid 3rd place finish, which is going to help out my overall, give me 2 solid overall finishes in both the races. By the way, Camby got by Blake, so there's a little update there. Final corner, can Luke make a last lap move? Going to try to do something. Was able to get it to the bumper of Detail, but not able to find an area to make that move. Detail takes another moto win here at Viper Canyon. But the better overall finish is definitely going to go to Luke, so he is going to take his 2nd overall in a row here. Detail with his 2nd moto win of the night. So Detail and Luke sweeping the moto wins here at Viper Canyon. Luke able to take both of the overalls, but Detail is the one competing for that championship, and I have to say, 2 moto wins, a 2nd place overall, and a 3rd place overall is not too shabby. So definitely looking very strong here going into the final 4 races. Detail trying to make a run at the 2-peat. So let's get your final results. It is going to be Detail 1st, Luke 2nd, Hunter 3rd, Roman 4th, Camby 5th, Blake 6th, Papa 7th, 8th, Sector Shift 9th. That is going to be your results. Your overall results, Luke is going to take the overall with 33 points, Detail 2nd with 30, Roman 3rd with 27, Slaunch 4th with 25, Hunter 5th with 24, Camby 6th with 22, Shift 7th with 18, Sector 8th with 17, and Blake 9th. Those penalties really hurting him with 15, man. Blake would have gotten like a 6th or maybe even a 5th overall if it weren't for those penalties, so he really needs to clean up those pit stops. And the team win both races going to be going to Double Pump. So that was that wasn't too bad actually for how few drivers we had for this doubleheader. I would say the racing wasn't that bad, especially on Viper Canyon. Viper Canyon was pretty good. So I'm definitely happy with that. But I am looking forward to next week. We have Tampa Bay and Thule GP. Thule GP is going to be a race of pit strategy, so I am definitely looking forward to that one. And Tampa Bay is going to be a race of attrition. Who can just pound out the most consistent laps and not wreck. That is what Tampa Bay is going to be all about. Who can run an entire race without making a mistake? I don't know, but we'll find out next week. Hope you guys enjoyed the racing action here as always. And now we only have 2 weeks remaining in the regular season, and then right after that we're getting into the grand finals. So you guys have 7 races here coming up in the next 3 weeks. That is a shat load of racing coming up. So definitely looking forward to it, and see you there.